Good afternoon, people. Welcome back to Cruising on Crypto. I am Craig. So, what can we say about this crypto market lately? It's been kind of ho-hum. I haven't made an episode in a few days, partly because I'm getting my sailboat ready for the sailing season, which I'm super excited about, but partially because there's just not really been a lot to say. I'm still feeling super bullish, still got the green light on in the background, and I'm going to show you some charts in a second that shows we are slowly moving up, higher highs, higher lows, very bullish, but it's at a slower pace than I would like, as most crypto investors would like. We want to get back to that raging bull market that we love so much, and we're expecting to have all the way through towards the end of, let's say, September was what we were originally saying. It was probably the end of this 4-year cycle, and then we'll start to peter out into a bear market in 2022. But now this whale FUD that we've been dealing with has been pushing the market kind of downish sideways for the last few weeks. And that has kind of elongated this bull cycle, in my opinion. So we're probably going to have the bull end later in the year than we originally expected. But I still see a bull market coming in higher numbers. We'll get to that in a second. But first, I wanted to just show you the thumbnail on the screen shows you that what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all the questions you've been giving me regarding the recent episodes I've been doing on yield farming. So I just want to say, even though this has been a ho-hum time to be in cryptos, of course, we had the mid-April high, and then it kind of crashed in May, and we've been kind of just going sideways. Think of yield farming as you being able to buy more coins for $0. So if you have 1,000 coins of something and you're staking it and you're making whatever percent, 50, 60, 70%, you're getting that in additional coins that you aren't actually having to buy. So even though your portfolio might have taken a hit, like mine definitely did, from the April high through May and now into June. I'm looking at it in a positive light. You look at how many crypto coins of each type you've got. Let's say you started with 500 of a coin, and after this last month and a half of going kind of sideways, you now have 550 coins. When things take off, you've got those extra 50 coins to really supercharge your returns down the road. So think of it in a positive light. And if you do have some powder on the, some dry powder on the sidelines, these dips have been a great opportunity to pick up those favorite altcoins or Bitcoin that you've wanted to get more into. So hopefully you've taken advantage of that. So let's look at the charts just quickly. All right. The granddaddy of them all, Bitcoin. We just want to look at this quickly. Again, my channel is not going to be a lot on technical analysis. I can do it, but I think almost every other crypto channel does a lot of technical analysis. And I think, I don't want to be another channel just doing that, just looking at the charts all day. But as you can see, this is a 5-minute chart. We zoom out, we zoom back. Actually, I'll go into a 15 minutes to get a bit bigger time frame. You can see this has been... It's been a real slog, right? From mid-April through May, all the way down. But as you can see, the low was back on May 19th. We had a slightly higher low, and then even a slightly higher low. Well, I guess about equal to the second last low, but you know what I mean? Not lower lows. And now we've been in this nice slow grind up. If we get back into the 5-minute, you can see it's been a pretty nice higher high, higher low type of time frame. And I think if we can get above, we did get above 41,000, as you can see here, but if we get above 42, 43,000, I think we can go, we're out of the potential of having an early bear market, and we're still in the bull market that I've been foreseeing, and many other channels have as well. So that's Bitcoin. That's the one we always look at first. Again, we'll go back to the stock and flow chart, and you can see that back in 2017, we had a similar pullback that took us outside of the stock and flow channel. You like to stay within that channel. Usually it does. At the very peak, it almost always goes above the channel. So I'm expecting it still to get there. But during both of these bull markets, we've had pullbacks that have gone below the channel as well. So that's not unexpected. What is a little weird is that this pullback is so late in this box. This is the box based on how many days these cycles tend to last, and we're almost 3/4 of the way through this box. So that's where before I was saying end of August, September might be the peak based on previous examples. Now I'm thinking everything's been elongated out, and we've had so much bullish stuff fighting that whale FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that they've been putting out about negative stories about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But you've had like El Salvador, Tanzania, Brazil, all these South American countries and African countries starting to really make news about how they're thinking of doing what El Salvador already did, which is making Bitcoin a legal tender, meaning stores have to accept it. They can advertise in Satoshis instead of dollars if they don't want to, or they can do both. The plus for these South American countries is there a lot of people are unbanked. A lot of people would rather deal with paying for things through their smartphone than trying to get money wire transferred from wherever to pay for things. And a lot of these people in these countries get money wired from family members who work in the United States, making a much higher hourly rate. Let's say they're making $20 an hour. That's probably 5 times what an average person in El Salvador makes, maybe 10 times. So when somebody in North America is making $20 an hour and they send $1,000 a month back to El Salvador, in the past, they were doing a Western Union money transfer or something else, and that's costing them a ton of money. And these people are losing huge chunks of the money that they're sending home in fees. And that's why the president of El Salvador said, no, we're going to stop doing that. We're going to implement that Bitcoin is a legal tender, because anybody with a smartphone can have a wallet, a crypto wallet on their phone, pay for things, get the money transferred instantly from their family members to their phone, go pay for whatever they need to pay for in El Salvador with almost no fees. And that is awesome. And that's the same sort of situation that you find in many of the African countries as well. So I think this El Salvador is just the tip of the spear. It's going to just be a steamroll of countries deciding, yeah, this makes more sense than us being forced to use the US dollar or their own country's fiat currency that is probably being printed into obscurity, almost having no purchasing power anymore. So Bitcoin is the solution, or any one of those crypto payment solutions would work. Cardano could work. A lot of different coins could work, not just Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is the one that most people know. So that's the one that a president of a country is going to go forward and say, let's use this coin. He's not going to pick some lesser coin that not too many people have heard of. He's going to go with Bitcoin. It's easier to sell people on that idea. So anyways, the stock and flow showing that we are sort of trying to get back into the channel, but I think we're going to end over here. We're going to end near the end of 2021 because this has been dragged out longer than it has in previous bull markets. So that's Bitcoin. Then we have Binance. You can see Binance not as bullish as Bitcoin. The slope is still up, but it's not up as much. We've got VeChain. Again, slope is up. So these are all pretty much saying the same thing. You're going to find that they're all sloping up. It's just the rate of slope is different. Some coins are more bullish, and we're going to get into Matic, which is very bullish. This is Cardano. Again, nice upward trend. This is Solana. Reasonably decent upward trend. This is the one I wanted to show you. Look at Matic. Just been one long. This is on the same time. This is on the same 5-minute time frame, and you can see just how long it's been in this uptrend. So this is all very bullish, and I think we've seen the lows. I'm not at all concerned that we're going to go back and go below those previous lows. For example, Bitcoin was just under 30,000. I don't think we're ever going to see that again. I'd be surprised if we even go below 35,000 at this point. We're, I think, off to the races. I think the end of June, July, August will be very, very bullish, and we'll sort of catch up to where we should be. So there he goes. Now let's get into the most important thing I wanted to talk to you about, which is the questions that you guys have been giving me on my channel. You've been sending me some excellent questions. I want you to continue to do that because it gives me an idea of what you guys want to know more about and what I'll continue to make content on. Again, I'll show you the charts. I'll talk about whether I'm bullish. At some point I won't be bullish. I'm not going to be a perma bull. Near the end of the year, when things start to look toppy, if things are getting a little overly exuberant, I'll probably be liquidating some of my coins and putting them in stable coins and yield farming them. But the yield farming episodes have gotten a lot of interest and a lot of questions. So I've highlighted the ones that I think we can talk about where you, the viewer, may have had the same question and want to know an answer for it. And we'll go through that now. So Labasan said, thanks for the vid, very useful. You mentioned it's a scam. Now, this was about this episode where I'm saying, you do see coins, brand new projects coming out where they're actually letting you yield farm it with like mirrored, let's say or matched up with a BNB coin or whatever for like a 40,000% annual rate of return, when you auto reinvest it. Is that even possible, or is this a guaranteed scam? And I said in this, it's not necessarily a scam. You have to do your research. You got to go on CoinMarketCap, whatever you're looking at, whatever coin, you go to the website, you find out what it is. Oh, this one's another auto yield farm. Okay, you look at its tokenomics. You go back to CoinMarketCap, you look at their white paper, you find out what they're all about, you look at their tokenomics, how many coins are they going to issue, do they have a buyback and burn their coin, deflationary part to their tokenomics. All that stuff's good to know. What's their market cap? If they are an AMM or a DEX, how many millions or billions of dollars do they have locked in? It's all just to give you some confidence that this is a decent coin. And the reason you see these coins that have these crazy percents is when you go into the tokenomics, you find out when it's a brand new project, they often offer a whole bunch of reward coins to get the ball rolling, to get that liquidity in this brand new coin. Otherwise, nobody knows about this coin. Nobody trades in the coin sort of just dies on the vine. So the developers of this new project will say, oh, okay, for the first, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, we're going to be giving out reward coins for, providing liquidity at a crazy high rate. So what ends up happening is you're matching it with BNB, which is a growth coin. Now you have this other coin that's giving a ton of their reward coins as reward for doing the liquidity. And that is bolstering the APY. And that's why you see these crazy numbers like 40,000. But if you read, he mentioned here, it's not a scam. In this case, I was talking about this one coin in this episode, but are there coins out there that are scams? When you see a great yield, are there telltale signs that we should look for to avoid the scam coins? And as you can see, I read all my comments, and if it's a question I can respond to, I respond with kind of a lot of information. So go in the comments and read if you're interested. But what I'm pretty much saying is, there's over 10,000 coins that we know of that are listed on the various exchanges. Over 10,000. That number just goes up every day. So without a doubt, and I just threw a quick number, I said, I bet you at least half of these coins are complete and utter BS. There's nothing to them. They're either a meme coin where they're just like Shiba Inu or something where somebody just decides, oh, I'm going to just be like Dogecoin. I'm going to make a dog coin, which has no purpose, and just try and hype it up and get people to buy it on that lesser fool theory. I'll buy it now because it's going to go up like Doge, and then I'll sell it 6 months from now for way more than I bought it for. That's the only merit to the coin, is that you're going to sell it to somebody else. Some other sucker is going to buy it after you. And that's not a project in my mind. So I avoid those. I consider those scam coins. And you just have to look, like I said, you got to look through the website. You got to look through the white paper. You got to look at the tokenomics. There's usually documents that talk about how many coins they're going to issue total, what's the burn rate, and all this other stuff. And that gives you a little more confidence that, and the TVL, if it is a DEX, that gives you the confidence to know, I can trust this coin. And the only reason the APY is so high is because they're giving out so many reward coins. So it seems to be a common theme. There's a lot of questions about that. Like, are these rates believable? What's going on here? It doesn't make sense to me. And that's because we're all coming from the fiat banking system. And I talked about this in previous episodes, where you go to a bank and you loan them your money, or you put it in a savings account and they give you less than 1%. And then you come on crypto and you're getting, even for a stable coin, you're getting 7, 8, 9, 10% just for leaving it in, staked in on a Binance or whatever. And people don't understand it. And I said, think of it as you're getting a cut of the fees that the bank gets. In the fiat world, you give your money to the bank then loans it out to somebody for a mortgage or for a business loan or whatever. And they make 8, 9, 10% by loaning it to a business. And then they don't give you hardly anything. So they're keeping all the profits. With decentralized finance, you are the bank. So you're loaning your coin to Binance or whoever, who then lets somebody do a leveraged purchase with it or does whatever with it, and they can only leverage up to a certain amount. Obviously, if the coin starts to fall in price, they can be liquidated. So you're not out of pocket. Your coins are still yours. And then for those fees that Binance makes, they give like a vast majority of it back to you because they're just using your coins, right? So that's how the rates are so high. And that's why people have trouble getting their mind wrapped around how is this even possible. From Ferry Hongdae Opa, that's a name, that's a mouthful. Craig, can you do a video on leveraged yield farming? I'm using Alpaca and Alpha. Could you help me understand the risk better? Explain what happens in liquidation. Okay, This is a good question because I did use Alpha. So let's go to Alpha and look at their farm pools. Okay, here we are on Alpha. Now this is the only time I've ever used a leveraged. I did it one time. If you go to Alpha, you'll notice that a lot of things, they used to all leverage, say 3. Now they've changed it. Some say 1, some say 2.5. You can change the number. I don't know why some are defaulting to 1. They used to all default to 3. But I did, I can't remember which one I did. Let's just say for argument's sake, I did Cake BNB. So the way it works is I didn't want to leverage at all, but they give you this alpha rewards if you do leverage. Notice this, at 1.5, you're getting 6% extra in alpha rewards. If you go to 1, let me get down to 1, you get, see, it doesn't want me to stay there. You got to get down there and then pick this, hit this button, but 0% extra rewards if you're at 1. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll do 1.5, right? So what that means is you're putting Cake and BNB in here, and then they're borrowing BNB so that you make this supposed 140, well, that's at 2.5. This thing will not stay there at 1.5. So let me just click on this so that it stops jumping back. So you're making 85.13% yield farming. You're making supposedly 20.15% in trading fees, and you're borrowing BNB at 25.95%. If you ever wonder how these sites can give you so much money for loaning your coins to them, that's because people who are leveraging are getting absolutely reamed in interest rates. So what happened when I did this is I got in here one day and this number changes constantly and it said 12%. So I was going to make like 85% this and 20 something percent this, and I was only paying 12%, I think, for borrowing the BNB. So it all netted out to a really nice rate of return until I locked in. And after a few days, I started noticing, wait a second, my amount of BNB debt up here, there'll be a BNB number. Let's say I borrowed 10 BNB. And then the next day it was 10.1 BNB. And the next day it was 10.2 BNB. And my debt was actually going up. And it was, I know the market was kind of not cooperating, but I was like, wait a second, if BNB is falling in price, wouldn't the price of the BNB I borrowed also be falling in price? I shouldn't, if I'm earning all these yield from farming and trading fees, shouldn't that money be paying down my debt? So shouldn't the debt be slowly going down? And then I found out what the problem was, is when I locked in, or when I thought I locked in, I was paying 12%. And then I went back on and I found out this borrowing rate changes. And you can actually see it over here on Earn BNB. If you want to just loan BNB and not do a farm, you can come in here. And as you can see, you're getting 38.11% to loan BNB. That's insane. But that number changes all the time, like every day. So you have no idea what it's going to cost you to borrow BNB. And so if the borrowing rate is higher than the trading fees you're getting, you're actually losing money loaning them or leveraging your thing. It only really works to your benefit if the market is going up. If the market's going up, chances are not only are you getting those trading fees and the yield farming, but the coins are going up in value. And then when you liquidate down the road, you pay back the BNB you own, you still end up making a good chunk of money. But if the market's going sideways, or heaven forbid the market's going down, then you're not only losing on the value of your coins, but they're charging you a crazy like 38% or 25% interest rate on the coins you borrowed. So let's get back to the question though. So what happens is you can be liquidated. If we go to back to Alpha for just a split second, that was based on me being at 1.5%, but there's a 3% option too. You can go all the way up to 3 on some of these coins. There, this one, Pancake BNB BUSD is up to 3. So picture that. You put in 100 coins and you can now play with 300 coins. Well, what happens if those coins drop by 33%, which we all know watching cryptocurrencies, we just went through a 55% drop. So if you only have 1/3 of the money up and it drops by 1/3 or more, you have absolutely zero value left. You've lost all the money you did in a leveraged investment. So that's what I'm getting at. If you could see a crystal ball and 100% knew the market was going to go up, then by all means, you should leverage because you're getting more bang for your buck. You're investing those 300 coins instead of only the 100 you really own. So of course, if the market goes up, you win. assuming those interest rates for borrowing aren't astronomically high. If it goes up, you win. If it goes sideways, you might not win if the interest on your loan is too high. And if it's going down, it's magnified. So if the market goes down 10%, you're losing 30%. If the market goes down 33%, you've lost everything. So to answer the question, so as you can see, I got this question by more than one person. In fact, the way it's worded at the beginning is exactly the same as the last person, and then there's a different end. So it kind of makes me wonder if this isn't a bot. But anyways, was a good question. So they let me better understand what happens in liquidation. What happens is if the market drops and you're really, really leveraged 3-to-1 or more, some sites go 5-to-1, 10-to-1, the market barely needs to move down for you to be completely liquidated and have nothing to show for it. So do not use leverage. Like I said, I did it once at 1.5 times. And when I started to see the scammy interest rates they were charging me all of a sudden, I just said, nope, I'm not doing this. This market might go sideways for a while or might go down more. And I got out. So I got out at a small loss. But yeah, I learned my lesson. I'm not going to do any more leverage. But I do think that if you are going to use alpha, this BNB thing is only you loaning BNB. And right now, this changes all the time. I've seen it as low as 11%, and I've seen it as high as 45%. But if you loan BNB here so that those other people can use leverage, you're making 38.11%. So that's pretty damn good. Let's go on to another question. So JR Castro asked, would you be able to make a video if you haven't already with how much earnings you can expect to realistically for yield farming? What's the minimum amount of money to yield farm to make a profit? So anyways, there really is no minimum. I mean, there are some obviously gas fees. So if you've got like $20, it's not worth doing. But even if you had $200 and you had to pay on the Binance system like 25-cent gas fee for this, 25 for that, you might be out $1 in fees. So if you had 200, you lost $1 in fees, you got 199, you could still yield farm it and make whatever interest rate everybody else is making. It's not an interest rate based on how much money. It's not like people who put in $10,000 get a higher interest rate than somebody who puts in $1,000. It doesn't work like that. So you can put in any reasonable amount of money and yield farm. Now, how much you can make in earnings is totally dependent on the risk-reward ratio. You have to think, I mean, like in life, if something seems too good to be true, it most often is too good to be true. So when you see those 40,000% rate of returns, read the white paper, look at the tokenomics, figure out if it's because they're giving away coins for the first couple of weeks and that's why, and then it'll drop fast after that first few weeks. In that case, you can probably say it's a believable 40,000% or some crazy number. But if it's always going to be like that, then that coin's just not going to survive. They can't give away coins like that and expect that coin to survive. So the more risk you're willing to take, the higher the reward. In other words, the more speculative the coin is, the higher the APY is going to be. So for example, when I yield farm, let me bring my yield farm spreadsheet over here. So as we've seen in previous videos, you go ADA and you want to just do ADA BNB, you're only getting 20, 35, 41%, 27%. So ADA Cardano is a well-known coin, very popular. Everybody wants it. So Cardano doesn't need to give away a lot of free reward coins for you giving liquidity. So they don't. So between BNB's coin and ADA coin, you're only making double-digit interest rates, which is still good by fiat currency standards. But by crypto standards, that's considered low for yield farming. Then you go into something like WEX, which is Walt Exchange. It's a brand new AMM DEX. And they were giving away like 386% to yield farm, 477% with BNB, 10,670% if you auto reinvested it with 11 Finance. So you can see smaller company, more speculative, probably giving out more reward coins, a little riskier because they're small. So if something happens, heaven forbid they get hacked for like $200 million like Pancake Bunny did. If they're very small, that might be all the money they have in their, war chest. And they literally just close the door. So like, we're not paying that. And they go, bye. And they leave you hanging. If you're Pancake Swap, the biggest AMM on the Binance Smart Chain, and you get hacked for $100 million, they go, oh, well, we'll just pay it out of our profits from this quarter because they make a crap ton. I think last quarter they made like $600 million profit. So yeah, if they get hacked, not that it doesn't suck for them, they just pay the people's coin. Like if I lose coins because they get hacked, that's not my fault. Right? So they're not going to blame you because they got hacked. So a big AMM, a big decentralized exchange will cover it. Way back when Binance first started, they were hacked. And I don't remember the amount, but no big deal to Binance. They were like, this sucks. We'll definitely have to look into our coding, find out if there's any more loopholes, close them up. And they just, filled everybody's wallet that got coins taken away. Binance just made good on it. So it's not a big deal. But it's a risk reward thing. Smaller AMM gives you higher rates of return, but you're taking the risk. You're investing in a very small project. You're buying the coins of a small project that could go bye-bye. And then your coins are gone, zero, worth nothing. And MDX, same as you can see. There's a big range here. Cake is the biggest AMM, Pancake, and even it pays a reasonably good amount, over 100%, for just staking Cake without even mirroring it with BNB. Weirdly, I guess because BNB isn't expected to grow as fast as Cake, you mirror Cake with BNB and your rate actually goes down, not up. So you're yield farming with BNB, you make 50, 60, 70%. You just Cake on alone and you're doing 120, 130. In fact, on Hi-Fi Pro, you were getting 164% by auto reinvesting it. So risk reward. You just got to decide what you can afford. So it's impossible for me to say that if you have, let's say $50,000 and yield farm, you're going to make $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month. I have no idea what you're going to make because I have no idea your risk profile, right? And again, this whole thing, none of this is financial advice. This is just me showing you what I've learned. So do your own research, talk to your own financial people before you make any decisions. But just always keep that in mind. There's a risk reward. The higher the rate of return you're being offered, chances are the higher risk you're taking. So it's impossible to know what level of investment you would need to make a certain amount per month. Now, Colton Williams asked if I could show my spreadsheet. I know I bring that spreadsheet on every once in a while. I don't want to show you my full investment spreadsheet because this one I'll show you all the time. This is just the rates of return for the different sites that I've been following for different type of farms. But let me just bring it off screen quickly. Go to my other one, bring it back in. He said, could you just show your spreadsheet to show us what kind of things you track? So let me bring it down here. I'll just show you the top 3. And unfortunately, the top 3 are the most... Remember the risk reward comment I was just saying? The top 3 on my spreadsheet are actually the craziest, highest rates of return. So you're going to think I'm like super aggressive in my investments. But as you can see, I'm yield farming Banana, which is Ape Swap, and Binance on Ape Rocket. I know these names are ridiculous. And it's paying presently. So these are the headings. This is the percent of my farming I have on each one. The date I first bought it. The initial coins I got, the initial LP coins I got, the interest rate that was being offered at the time that I decided to go with it. And I knew when I saw this one at 1,636%, Banana or ApeSwap was new. And I read the tokenomics and they were going to give away a ton of Banana coins for yield farming and leverage and providing liquidity. So I knew this 1,600% wasn't going to stay like that. And it slowly over time dropped. It's down to 699%. So there you go. Now, actually, that not 699 is these two numbers over here. That's the rate of return for Banana, and I'm getting 389% of Space Coin because I'm with Ape Rocket. Similar to when I'm with Auto Farm, I get Auto tokens. When I'm with Ape Rocket, I get Space tokens, which again, very small. Auto Reinvestor, Space tokens don't even show up on Binance or whatever. You have to swap it on the Ape Swap thing to other coins. So it's speculative at best. So that's why you're getting the higher rate of return. From those Space coins I take those out and then I put it in an auto reinvest where Space just gets reinvested in, pays you back. Actually, it pays you in WBNB, actually, not Space coins. A lot of times when you go into like Ape Swap and you put Banana alone into their pool, you get more Banana. So you're putting in Banana to get really high rate of return of more Banana. But this one's actually paying you in WBNB, which is a wrapped Binance coin, which is weird, but I'm glad I get a Binance coin. And it's paying 309.55%. But just going across what it is, so that's the interest rate that was offered at the time. This is the interest rate now. This is the highest interest rate I've ever seen, which I obviously haven't updated because this one says 4,500. Nope, that's right. 1,000% was the highest rate I ever had. And that was the WEX BNB. Again, WEX is Walt Finance, and it was paying a crazy amount of interest when it first started. And that was that. I think that was the episode where I was talking about the 40,000% rate of return. Is it real? And that was actually talking about WEX and BNB. So the amount that is invested, rewards pending. These are the ones where the rewards are just accruing on the side for Space Coin or Banana or WEX Coin or whatever. And I haven't done anything with it yet. We haven't tried to reinvest it or sell it or do whatever. You can see here, the market, I've owned it for, this is how many days I've owned it, 17 days. I have it set up in my spreadsheet that I've got the date to automatically count up for me. I pick the date from where I bought it, and it calculates how many days it's been from today to since that day. Tells me how many days I bought it. So I've got my change, my rate of return, my annual rate of return, which is really just this amount multiplied by 17 days divided into 365 days. You get the point. It auto calculates that. That's why you get these crazy rates of return. So I've actually lost money on the Banana BNB coin because I've owned it for 17 days. And if we go back into this and look at 17 days ago, I'll probably have to change this to be like 15 minutes. So you can see 15 days ago was probably the first. So it's been mostly downhill. I mean, a few coins have gone up, but clearly Banana coin hasn't gone up. So because of that, I've actually slightly lost money, but I want you to look at one thing first. Let me get back to my spreadsheet. I've slightly lost money on the actual Banana BNB, but look at the next line. That's the Space reward coins that I've been taking out of that. And since they're free, I put a $1 cost because I didn't actually pay for them. And I've made $1,229 from the Space coins I've gotten for free. So realistically, when you take this minus 1,300 and add this plus 1,299, I'm really break even though the market has been going kind of down in the last 17 days. And the next one is that crazy WEX BNB. That one, actually, I was up huge on that one until just yesterday. They came out, WEX, Walt Swap came out with a WEX Polygon thing, and they came out with a separate token. And when they did that, the WEX coin went from 9 cents to 4 cents in one day. So I was up like 12 grand yesterday, and now I'm only up $3,500, which is still up. So I'm really happy. It's kind of hard to lose when they're paying you at one point 4,500%, and later it was, when I first got in, it was 45,000%. It was when I locked in 33,800%, and I'm now getting 6,990%. So even in a falling market, I'm still making profits. In fact, when it was 9 cents yesterday, I was making huge profits, considering my initial capital inlay was 26,000, and I was already up 12 grand in 14 days. So, anyways, yeah, I didn't really want to get into my finances specifically, but I thought I'd show you that spreadsheet just to show you. You saw the headings there of what I do in my spreadsheet. I like the spreadsheet, and all those colors that you saw are just my visual thing. If I get above a certain percent, I change it to a different color. If I get below a certain percent, I change it to a different color. It's just for optics. Okay, another question that makes good sense for everybody to know is somebody's doing BNB auto pair on Walt Finance, and the rate is 246%, which is not that. Do I get WEX coin or token coins or LP token coins? So let's go to Walt Finance. So let's just go auto. Okay, so we're right here now, actually on the right thing. It's not 246%, so I don't know whether he's looking at an auto reinvestment like 11, but it's 64% right now for auto BNB. And you're not going to get more auto and BNB coin. You're going to get WEX. So when you're on Pancake and you're in the farms, you're not earning the coins that you're farming. You're earning cake coin. When you're on Walt Finance, you're not earning more auto coins and BNB coins. You're earning WEX coins. The only time you get more liquidity pool coins is if you go to like Auto Farm or 11 or there's some other ones. This one that this person just mentioned to me in one of the comments, this a cryptos, brand new one, same thing. You see APY, that means they're auto reinvesting. So let's just go to auto, for example. So let's just go to auto, for example, and I'm actually doing this exact farm that this person asked in their question. I am farming auto BNB. And here's how it breaks down. You're getting 131.06%, but they break it down as to how you get that number. So it's on Walt Finance. That's what it says right here. That's the farm it's on. And it's going to pay you 50.64%. But what they do is they take those WEX coins that you get here. As you can see, you're going to get WEX coins. And they 619 times per year. So about 2 times a day, they sell the WEX and they buy the LP token of BNB Auto. So they're constantly liquidating the WEX for everybody, and that's doing the exact same investment. They liquidate for everybody a couple times a day, and they reinvest those proceeds into WBNB and Auto. So you end up with more LP tokens. Then on top of it, so that 50.64% gets auto reinvested into 67.99%. Oh, sorry, 63.07%, plus auto is giving you 67.99% because you are farming auto. So they're really, really happy you're doing it on auto. So they give you another 67.99%, which makes the total 131.06%. And that's how it comes back with it. But to answer your question, if you take a farm on Cake, or you take a farm on Walt, or you take a farm on one of these ones that's just going to give you a reward coin, you're just going to get that reward coin. You're not going to get more LP tokens. If you go to an auto reinvestant like Auto Farm or 11, or I think Beefy Finance, or this Cryptos, then you're going to get them automatically doing it for you, where they sell off the reward coins and they buy more LP tokens for you. So if what you want to get is more BNB coins and auto coins, and you don't want WEX coins, and you don't want banana coins, you don't want pancake coins, then you got to go to an auto reinvestment yield farmer sort of thing, so that they will auto reinvest the reward coins. So hopefully that makes sense. XZW says, how safe is it to stake on Pancake Farm? What happens if the farm gets hacked? Now, as we said earlier, Pancake is the biggest yield farm / AMM / decentralized exchange on the Binance Smart Chain. By far the biggest, bigger than Uniswap on Ethereum. It does huge volume, makes massive profits. So I wouldn't worry about it. The long and short, as we've said earlier, it's very safe because it's very big and very profitable. So even if this got, there's farms, there's pools, there's lots of things on PancakeSwap that you can invest in and make a really good rate of return. If there's that very slim if they were to get hacked by somebody, and somebody was to steal like a certain person's coins or whatever off the site, then I'm quite confident that Pancake is by far large enough to just out of pocket pay for those coins to be replaced. So I am not at all worried about it. If you go to this one that this person in one of the comments asked me to check out, a Cryptos, if you go to a Cryptos on CoinMarketCap, it's really only been around, looks like, since the beginning of 2021. So, I mean, it's not super, super new. It's 2,996 in ranking, and it's got a total of locked-in value of $212 million. So it's not terribly small, but it's not terribly large either. Let's go to Cake. So it's $212 million for this place, Cake. Look at PancakeSwaps in comparison. PancakeSwap is number 38 on the list, and it's got total locked-in value $7,590,868,000. So much, much larger. Market cap's much higher, fully diluted is much, much bigger. They also, I know Cake well, they do have a Cake burn schedule that every quarter, just like Binance does, every quarter they take their profits, whatever they brought in, and they buy coins off the open market and they burn them. They take them out of circulation. And so everybody who still owns the Cake coin, their coins are worth more. So there you go. So to answer your question, I would not be at all concerned with PancakeSwap. What happens if it gets hacked? That is not to say that everybody who does the same type of business as PancakeSwap is safe. If they're tiny and something goes wrong, they probably can't afford to fix it, and they're just going to close shop, and you're probably going to be out of pocket. And it's not like you can go to the Better Business Bureau and say, oh, a Cryptos Finance took my coins, or they got hacked and then they closed down and now I want you to pay me. Who's going to pay you? They're closed, right? So this is Mark was asking me if I could check out a Cryptos. I just did that. That's the one I showed you. I don't see anything wrong with the Cryptos. They have a lot for a fairly new AMM, they have a lot of choice here. And they're obviously using, like AutoFarm, they've got Pancake options here. They've got ACSI, I've never heard of. They've got Core, I've never heard of. Venus, I've heard of. Again, more Pancake. MDEX, I know of. So yeah, they're going to a bunch of different AMMs and auto yield farming, just exactly like AutoFarm does, which is the biggest one, I think, in the Binance Smart Chain. But yeah, I don't have anything against cryptos, but what I did notice is if I go back to my spreadsheet, I went and looked at MDEX, I looked at Cake BNB, and I compared it to my spreadsheet here, and I could always find higher rates of returns on the ones I've already been using, like AutoFarm or 11, or if you're trying to yield farm banana, the best place to do that is Rocket Ape. So I don't have anything against the cryptos. I just don't think it, so far, I haven't looked at every possible option, but I don't see that being the absolute highest rates of return. I can find better elsewhere. So there you go. But that doesn't mean that in the future I couldn't refer to it and find some coin that I'm thinking of farming is better there. I mean, it's like going to car dealerships looking for a car. You got to play one dealership against another, and you'll find that sometimes you get a better deal at one place, and a different car you'll get a better deal at a different place. It's another person asking me for my spreadsheet and to show the template. Yeah, I've kind of done that already without going into infinite detail about what I own. And this is something I'm just going to mention. I didn't notice this until I highlighted all these questions, but I noticed I'm getting the exact same question at the beginning and then a different end to the sentence. This part about can BNB pair and using the exact same 246%, it's a different person, but the end of the sentence is different. And I never caught that before until I started highlighting the good questions. And then I noticed, wait a second, the exact same question is being asked with a different end of the sentence. So I'm starting to think there's bots. There's bots that are sending me stuff, and then somebody's just adding a different end so that it doesn't look like the exact same thing. Chances are there's a reason. If I look at this, they're mentioning Walt Finance paying 246%, which they are not. They're paying 64%. So I'm guessing this person and the other person's asking it has something to do with Walt Finance. Everybody in the crypto space, every YouTube channel I've ever seen has said, watch out for scammers in the comments. If somebody ever tries to pretend they're cruising on crypto, if it's not this highlighted name, it's not me. I wouldn't reach out to people randomly in the comments and ask them to telegram me or send me anything. So yeah, but there's a lot of scammers in the crypto space, so be careful. But at least some of these scammers are asking good questions. So again, yield farming, alpaca, alpha. This is almost the same question again. Cryptos, same question again. Okay, here's the third person to ask the exact same question at the beginning. I'm doing BNB auto pair on Walt Finance, and it's 246%. Do I get WEX or do I get this? And then they only change the end. What's the better this time? So yeah, disappointing to find out a lot of these good questions are actually duplicated over and over by different people writing the exact same thing. This is the exact same. The weird thing is this is the exact same question with a different end, but I responded not knowing, and the person responded back, and they actually had intelligent stuff to say. So it's weird. It's weird that people are writing the exact same question, but they're actually real people responding to my response. Strange. So they're not a bot. I don't know. They're probably people that just work for Walt Finance. But hey, as long as they're asking smart questions, I'm willing to answer them. Okay, this one looked like the same question, but they've added another part at the end that's different. So I'm gonna let it slide. How much do you need to realistically yield farm, and what's the minimum amount? You've seen that question already, but they added this second part about DEXs on Cardano too, such as min swap DEX. Now they're probably related to that thing, but anyways, long and short, I'm very much into the Binance Smart Chain system, but I own Cardano and I own Polkadot and I own Solana, and I'm really looking forward to when those smart chain contracts are fully developed and they have all the myriad of DEXs and AMMs on their smart chain contract system as Binance does now, because it would be nice to go, hey, I don't have to just look at AutoFarm or 11 or Walt or whatever on the Binance Smart Chain. I can actually jump over to Polygon, or I can actually jump over to Polkadot, or I can jump over to Solana and look at some of their AMMs over there. Maybe they've got better rates of return. Or maybe a coin that I want, like VeChain. I've never been able to find anywhere to yield farm VeChain for a reasonable rate of return. The only thing I can do is leave it on Binance and get their little what they call it, flexible savings plan, which is paying me like 4%. So it's better than nothing, better than a sharp stick in the eye. But yeah, but I know everything else is paying me 20, 30, 40, 100, 1,000%. And my VeChain just sits there making 3.89% or something like that. It's a little underwhelming. So it'd be nice to have other AMMs to compare to and make sure I'm getting the absolute best rate, and also give me an opportunity to maybe farm some new coins that I haven't been able to farm so far. So there you go. Answered some of the questions that were in the comments, even though I now realize some of them are duplicates of each other from different people, which makes me, But anyways, they are good questions. They were good questions that I figure that the average viewer might want to know. Long and short, you get what you pay for, so to speak. The risk reward has to always keep that in mind. If you're seeing really high rates of returns on some of these farms, chances are it's because the coins are brand new, very speculative, brand new projects with not a lot of money in the bank. And if something goes wrong, they'll just close up shop and you'll be out of luck. If you think it's a good project and you think it's got a bright future, then by all means, I've done it. You can go for those high rates of returns to be one of those first investors in the first few weeks that they're dishing out tons and tons of reward coins. But there's a risk. Just keep that in mind. Again, always check with your financial advisor. Do not buy something just because you see me buying something. And the other thing I wanted to say is, just looking back at the charts, just keep in mind, I'm still bullish. Still, things are moving up, higher highs, higher lows. I think we're going to have a great summer. I think starting July for sure. Maybe the rest of this month will be kind of this chop up and down. I think the whales are still trying to FUD people out. I think there is that kind of despair where people, it's been going sideways for so long, kind of goes up and gives us hope, and then it goes back down and dashes our hope, goes back up again. And we're in the kind of like in that up right now. But if it came back down and tested 30,000 again, or 31,000, which was kind of the recent low as of the 8th, then I think there would be a bunch of people who might just throw in the towel. I can just feel it. Seeing the comments on YouTube and whatnot, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't know, man, this seems risky. You never heard that when things were going up. Nobody was worried about risky when it was going up. But now that it's going sideways to slightly down at times, people are starting to panic. So I'm just saying, stay calm, don't panic. Think long term, and think, if you are yield farming like I am, you're earning additional LP tokens or coins. If you're just in a pool with the one coin, you're just earning more of the coin. And think of it that way. Even if the value of the coin's not going up, you're getting more coins. So when the coins do go up, you will make a lot more money. So look forward to that. So that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. You found it informative or educational. If so, show the channel some love by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already for more content about cryptocurrencies, technical analysis, yield farming, and all that. And news of the day. If I had some new news comes out, I'll definitely do an episode on that as well. Until next time, this is Craig wishing you nothing but happiness, health, and wealth in that order. Ciao for now.